Hi there. I have now been on my Mounjaro journey for 3.5 weeks, and it's actually going better than I'd hoped. Um, as I've said before, um, I'm I've sort of looked at the dosing, and I've decided to take a dose of 2 milligrams, which is 48 clicks. I was actually taking 2.1, which was 50. But I only decided on that because 50 was an easy number to remember. But now I just sort of mark it on the pen. So I take 48 clicks, which is 2 milligrams for every 6 days. And that actually seems to be working okay for me. Um, but the good thing about it is that I'm actually able to have 6 doses per pen, or for the first pen at least, anyway, because I've not gone beyond that yet. So it's 6 times 6, so it's actually 36 days on a single pen. So I'm not only using the fifth dose, which is like the golden dose, but I'm also using one beyond that, or will be using one beyond that. And you can see that in the picture above me, how I can do that. When I finish that pen, I've already got a 5 milligram pen, which I won't be using the 5 milligrams. So I'll stay on 2 milligrams, but I'll do it every 5 days. And that should increase the amount of Mounjaro in my body, on the one hand, with the same dosage, because I'm doing it every 5 days instead of every 6 or 7 days. I think that is enough, unless I feel that I need to, and then I will go up and have, let's say, 2.5 milligrams or 3 milligrams. But I'll do that according to my feeling and according to how much my food noise is returned, how full I get after a meal, and so on. And obviously, I'm trying to lose a bit of weight, as we all are. So hopefully, if I see that I'm keep on doing that, I don't have too many side effects, and I keep on losing weight, then I'll stay on 2 milligrams every 5 days. If I will see that it's not really that effective anymore, then I will upgrade myself to 2.5 or even 3 milligrams. But I will keep on doing it every 5 days because I think that's better. And I'm not going to do it according to the sort of like manufacturer's recommendations. I'm going to do it according to how I feel and what sort of results I'm getting. I don't want to get too many side effects. At the moment, so far in 3.5 weeks, I've had I've thrown up once, and I've had a bit of stomach uncomfortable sort of feeling on several occasions, especially after I've taken the jab, but not much beyond that. So far, it seems to be working, and as you'll see later on, I am actually losing some weight, so that's good. So what I've done is I've looked at a site called glp1plotter.com, which allows you to say how much you're going to be taking, how often you're going to be taking, how long you're going to be taking it for, and then it plots it for you. So basically, rather than having sort of like really, really highs and really, really lows, so when you've got a lot of GLP-1, Mounjaro in my case, in the bloodstream or in your body, then it's very effective, but then it loses effectiveness. But if you can sort of bring those two closer together by doing it sort of like every 5 days or every 6 days, then you have a higher concentration in your bloodstream, and therefore you can take less of it. So that's the way I see it anyway. And because I want to get off it at some point, or take it sort of like a month on, a month off, just like as a top up at some point, then the less I'm taking at the moment, while it's still effective, obviously, the better it is for me. So, I'm going to keep on doing that. Now, as far as the location is concerned for the injection, I only do it in the stomach. So, I do sort of around, if you've got the belly button, so I do like 2 inches, 2 inches, 2 inches, 2 inches. I've got 4 sites around the belly button, which I use alternatively. But I have decided that, it is better to do it that way than, do it in your arm or in your leg, because it's less effective. And you'll see, I'll probably do a video about that separately, but there's also a very good video and some trial data from a company, obviously from Eli Lilly, and also from a doctor called Kevin Joseph, who's in Florida in the United States. And it has been irrefutably proved that, the best site is really in the stomach and not in the legs or in the upper arm. But I'll include a lot more of that later on when I do another video. I'm also injecting in the evening so that the Mounjaro has some time to get into my body and dissipate and absorb itself, or have my body absorb it. And so when I wake up in the morning, then, first of all, if I had any sort of side effects, then, I was sleeping. And also when I wake up in the morning, then, it's all been absorbed, and it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. However, from my point of view anyway, I can say that just sort of like injecting it isn't good enough. And I know that some people expect it to just work, just do its magic, and them to lose lots and lots of weight. But in the long run, I don't think that would work for me. Again, this is only my opinion. I'm not a medical person, so, don't listen to me. I'm just telling you what I do and how I do it and what my personal views are. But, I see that over time, I would like to be able to stop taking Mounjaro and for myself not to bounce back, as I have done in the past with all sorts of diets I've been on. And so I'm trying to change the way that I live my life, my appetite, and different things. So basically, you need to take I need to take the injections, but I also need to do some work in order for them to actually take effect. Injections plus work equals success. So for that purpose, I do take lots of liquids. So I'm up to about 3 liters per day. I drink some tea. I have some water. I don't have any sort of like soda or sweet stuff or diet stuff, because I've read and listened to lots of different people saying that those are not even very healthy in general. They cause blood glucose spikes. They cause cancer and all sorts of stuff like that. So I'm not into that at all. So I'm just trying to stick to what I know, which is like water and tea. I don't drink coffee at all, so it's not a problem for me. I also try and eat healthy foods, and I'll show you what I've eaten, for instance, today. So I had some potato, a baked potato, some vegetables, and some chicken thighs, and it was tasty. It wasn't too much. It was the first time I actually ate today, about 3 o'clock. So, well, not entirely, but a proper meal. I did have some nuts and some dried fruit, but nothing real beyond that. I also take some supplements. So I take B12. I take multivitamins. I take electrolytes to help my body absorb the fluids that I'm taking in. I do cardio, so most days I walk. If it's nice and sunny, which obviously living in England, it's not always, but if it is, then I like to go cycling. I do some strength training, so I do some push-ups. So I do that once, maybe twice a day. Some lifting of weights, and I've also installed some rubber sort of like resistance bands to help me with that. I think that if it's available to me in my house, I will be able to do it at my own time. I've found that in the past when I've joined the gym, it's such a faff to go to the gym and get dressed and all this sort of stuff that, I don't really use it that much. I don't go that much. So I'm going to try and see if I can do that. And obviously my measurements will show me whether I'm effective in that or not. And if not, then, if I have to go to the gym twice a week, then I will do. But the point is to try and learn and practice, and sort of like spend the time trying to do better. For instance, I had a friend who contacted me because both their neighbours apparently on both sides were actually taking Mounjaro, and her husband wanted to take it as well. And I said, that's really good. I will support him in any way. If he wants to talk to me for half an hour, I've learned a lot. I know a lot about it, different things. We can sit down and I can teach him a lot of stuff about it. And the answer was, no, he can't really be bothered. He just wants to sort of like go on the Mounjaro, lose some weight and carry on like that. So, it's not for me to say how people do this. I wouldn't do it that way. I took the time before I started taking Mounjaro. I didn't take a lot of time. It was in my fridge for about a week. And then I started to take it after I'd learned a bit. But, if other people don't want to do it that way, then, that's okay. I'm not going to force them. I'm not going to scorn them, each to their own. I think that, it's a journey that we need to take. And each one does it differently. And obviously, the effects are different. So you can't really tell people how to do or what to do. So there you go. Anyway, so my results, as you can see above me, my year-to-date results. So basically, I've been sort of like around Christmas time, I sort of started putting on a bit of weight, and I went up, until I sort of put on probably around about 5-6 kilos from Christmas up until about a month ago. And then I started the Mounjaro, and then you can see on the curve how it's actually gone down quite a lot. So I'm quite happy with myself. I'm weighing 107.2 kilograms or 235 pounds, which is quite a lot. I think it puts me around about 32.5 BMI, which is still obese. So I'm working towards becoming only overweight, and hopefully a bit more than that later on. But I have actually lost this week. I've lost 1.5 kilos, which is 3.3 pounds. So I'm quite happy with that. It's actually more than I was expecting, especially because I've just started, and my dose is actually lower than recommended. My water percentage stayed about the same from last week to this week. My fat percentage went up by 0.2%, and my muscle percentage went down by 0.2%. But that's probably some sort of anomaly, a weekly thing. It's not anything that I need to worry myself about. I'm not going to worry myself about. And in the same sort of way that I only weigh myself once a week. I've had a lot of experience with this over the years, and you go up and down from day to day, from time to time, depending on what you've eaten, how much you've gone to the toilet, how much you've drunk, and all this sort of stuff. So, but over the week, it does sort of average itself out. So if you are able to And not everybody's able to, because they're a bit curious about what's going on, and they need to know what's happening. And I also need to know, but I also know that waiting for it a bit is better for me. So I just weigh myself every Sunday morning. I wake up, I take my measurements, I weigh myself, my son photographs me, and then I carry on with my day. I've also started using an app which I bought for my phone called Body Measurement Tracker. It cost me like £12 per year, so it's not really that expensive. It can import the information either from Apple or from Fitbit, or you can put it in manually. So all the sort of stuff, so how much you weigh, body percentages, all this sort of stuff, composition. It's able to log your measurements, and also you can put in your pictures in it on a weekly basis, and then you can take a pic. It'll create a small sort of like video of all the pictures, so you can actually see how you're progressing. So as far as I'm concerned, I love being able to track what's going on, and have an easy way to see how I'm doing, and that's really what it's all about for me, and that's the way that I do better. So not everybody's the same, but I take everything from obviously my weight to my body composition, so fat, water, muscle. I take my measurements, I take pictures. I don't really feel that we need to share those. You'll be able to see in my face and obviously from the numbers how I'm doing, but I think that's really the way to go for me. Again, for me personally, other people will perform differently, and that's okay, as long as we are all positive about it, and we're all doing our own thing. You don't need to copy anybody, you don't need to compare yourself to anybody, just do your own thing. It might take you less time, more time, that doesn't really matter, as long as the trend is you're going down in weight and you're improving and you feel better, then that's very good. So let's all carry on, and let's do that until we feel good, and then worry about sort of like coming off it, or maybe not coming off it completely, but just having some sort of a maintenance routine. Anyway, I will make another video about sort of like locations and other different things that I've found out about. But for now, that's it. And I hope you have a good day, a good weekend, and I will see you in a bit. Cheers. Bye.